Hello everybody, and thank you for taking the time to look at this multimedia presentation outlining the first year geography trip to Dunmore Caves in Kilkenny. First off, the learning outcomes for this field trip. The students will have experienced geological process in the real world. They will be able to create a presentation linking the history, the scientific processes, and the geological processes taking place within the Dunmore Caves. And the students will be able to discover natural wonders in their locality. This includes Dunmore Caves, but it'll give them the experience to realise that there are natural wonders all around them. Now for a quick overview, as the field trip itself will only comprise of one of three parts of this learning experience. First, the students will have done preparatory learning in both their geography classes, their history classes, and their science classes. This will forearm the students with preparatory knowledge for the day, which will comprise of leaving the school, arriving at Dunmore Cave, where we will meet our tour guide who will bring us on a tour of the caves themselves, and then lead us through the learning centre at the Dunmore Cave facility, where we will learn more about the geological processes happening and the historical context of the caves themselves. This will lead into the third and final stage of the field trip, where the students will return to the school and they will reflect on what they learned on the trip and the preparatory learning they did at the first stage. Then they will prepare a presentation on the formation of the caves, looking at the geological context in which the caves were formed. They'll also be encouraged to link these topics with their history classes and what they've learned in their science classes also. The temptation for a trip like this will be to rely on the field trip and the tour guide for the majority of the information that the students are going to be learning. Whereas the approach here that we're going to take is to forearm the students so that they can ask more informed questions of their tour guide on the day. The teaching itself will therefore take the form of a teacher-led classroom discussions. These will be aided by diagrams and by videos showing the formation of rocks and how weathering can form these caves like they're about to see in Dunmore. The student learning will also be multifaceted. The students will generate an experiment where they will form their own stalactites and stalagmites using salt-laden water. We will also use a flipped approach here, providing the students with a podcast that they can take home with them and replay over and over again, providing them with much of the information they'll need throughout this process. They will also be provided with a online repeatable quiz so that they can track their own learning, see where they're finding their own difficulties, and take ownership of that. And finally, the assessment of this trip. Now, much of it will be formative assessment as the teacher observes how the students carry themselves within the caves and when they interact with their tour guide. But also
Created using Powtoon.